So we saw Donald Trump, he's speaking at a rally in Wilmington, North Carolina, and now we know that Hillary Clinton is currently on her way to tour a healthcare facility in Miami. And keep in mind, Miami, this is specifically the neighborhood where a number of people have been infected with the Zika virus by the mosquitoes down there. Hillary Clinton is going to, in this address, call upon Congress to, even though they're on summer recess, get back to Washington and take part in an important Zika vote on funding, though lawmakers are not actually due back to work until after Labor Day. Her call to Congress comes on a day when Texas is actually reporting its first death related to the Zika virus. A newborn there who tested positive for Zika died at the hospital. So CNN senior Washington correspondent Jeff Zeleny is with the Clinton campaign there in Miami, which has really sort of become ground zero for the U.S. spread of Zika. And specifically, Hillary Clinton will call on Congress to come back. Tell me about this vote.
Brooke, this is one of those days where the presidential campaign actually becomes reality, as it so often does in a general election phase here. Secretary Clinton is going to be calling on Congress, as you said, to come back from their recess and vote on the president's request for $1.9 billion in funding for Zika. Now, that's been pending for weeks and months. There, of course, like any fight in Washington, both sides are to blame here in part. There's finger pointing on both sides. She, of course, is going to be calling on Republican leaders of Congress to call everyone back to Washington and approve this funding. Now, this is unlikely to work. We see a lot of these things happen in the month of August. But what it does for her campaign, the reason she's doing this, Brooke, it allows her to look presidential and actually focus on something that is really having a major impact here in Florida, and as you said, is spreading with the first reported case in Texas as well. So she'll be making her comments here in the Wynwood section of Miami just in a few moments, talking about the need for Congress to get its act together and to get a bipartisan solution to this.
So as we wait for that, meantime, she held a rally in Kissimmee, Florida, where, here she was, and we've spotlighted this man behind her, in the red hat and the mustache, Jeff Zeleny, who turns out to be, apparently unbeknownst to the Clinton campaign, this is the father of the man who murdered those 49 people at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. What is the Clinton campaign saying about this?
Brooke, so awkward and such a strange situation. The moment she's talking about it there, he is sitting right behind her. I was at that rally. There were some 3,000 people there, so I didn't spot him, but a Florida reporter spotted him who has, seen him in the news and certainly talked to him before. And so they went up and talked to him afterward as he drove back down to his home in South Florida. And he said, look, I support Hillary Clinton, and I was invited to this rally because I am a Democrat. He's given some small contributions to local Democratic efforts over the years. But the Clinton campaign is certainly embarrassed by this, Brooke. They're trying to downplay it and saying, look, we did not know that he was in attendance at all. We didn't know he was on stage until it was called to our attention afterward. Now, they're not disavowing his support at all because, of course, he is a citizen here and can support who he wants in this campaign. But it's certainly an awkward moment, particularly because he was sitting right behind her, and people are picked to sit behind candidates for part of the backdrop. And certainly he did become part of the backdrop.
Right. Jeff Zeleny, thank you. We'll be listening and watching for Hillary Clinton momentarily. We'll take her live as well. Meantime, yet another